The sheer weight of pretentiousness and feelings of intellectual superiority that these guys carry would be enough to sink the bloody Titanic all over again. This video popped up on my YouTube feed and I just had to watch it. After all, it's two of India's biggest pseudo-intellectuals engaged in a conversation with one another. The first minute and a half itself throws up some absolute gems. Trust me, you have to watch this. In fact, let's watch this together because I wouldn't mind rewatching it. I've seen it so many times. Arey yaar, two of India's biggest pseudo-intellectuals. Let's watch.
Varun, I think this is going to be the first episode on what I've always wanted to do, what I've struggled to find a way to do, which is have conversations that stimulate my mind.
Oh ho ho! He's been creating content for God knows how many years. He's had thousands of conversations with so many people, from successful people from all walks of life. But this is going to be the first time he will be having a conversation with someone that stimulates his mind. Because clearly the others with whom he had conversations didn't quite reach that threshold for his mind to be stimulated. They weren't good enough for his mind.
And I want you to not hold back. As far as this vertical of my content is concerned, I don't want it to be particularly catering to, the average intellect. I don't know if that's a condescending statement, but whatever.
The average intellect. I don't want it to be catering to the average intellect. I don't know if that's a condescending statement, but whatever. Oh my God. It just reeks of intellectual superiority. That all of you peasants that I cater to, that my content caters to, aren't quite on my level when it comes to my level of intellect. All of you are intellectually inferior. And for the longest time, I've actually had to dumb myself down such that I can come down to your level. And I've always wanted to do this, but you know what? I'm by the people, for the people, of the people. And so I will cater to the dumb masses, even though my mind rebels against that because of my mind's level of intellectual superiority, right? The brazen hypocrisy here. The same audience that you're indirectly labeling as being intellectually inferior has made you who you are today, has given you the awards, the fame, the accolades, the millions of followers, subscribers, the distribution that you were going for. And now you're calling them stupid or intellectually inferior, or calling them the average intellect. Not sure if that's a condescending term, but whatever. Bloody hell. The sheer hypocrisy. That's like patting someone on the back with one hand and then picking his or her pocket with the other hand. Truth be told. Look, humans are driven by incentives, right? He's not a masochist, so he wouldn't be doing something that he's been doing for a long, long time if it wasn't of any benefit to him. Correct? There was probably a strong reason why he felt that he's okay dumbing down his intellect just so that he can actually cater to or pander to the average intellect. Because he probably felt that that's going to give him scale, it's going to give him distribution, it's going to give him fame, it's going to give him wealth, all of those reasons, right? Even though it perhaps came at the expense of not being able to have very quote unquote intellectual, or in his case, pseudo-intellectual conversations. So that's a deal with the devil, correct? You accept that. But now, to throw shade on the same people, the same millions of people across multiple different platforms who have directly or indirectly been responsible for the distribution that he has, the fame that he has, the reach that he has, the numbers that he has, the wealth as well that he has, to throw shade on all of them by calling them the average intellect.
I don't know if that's a condescending statement, but whatever.
Is brazen hypocrisy. I don't know about you, but I certainly think that's brazen hypocrisy. Continue watching because Varun Mayya is no less. Hear his reaction to this.
So we're good, right? You understand. You understand the premise.
I mean, the last 2 years of my life, I've spent time dropping 20 IQ points so that everything gets to more scale.
Right.
But fine.
And look at the smug look on his face as well when he's saying, the last 2 years of my life, I've dropped 20 IQ points just so that I can cater to the bloody peasants who are somewhere down below. I don't see them right now because my level of intellectual superiority is so high. I don't see them, but every now and then I think about doing them a favor and coming down to their level of intellect. Swear to fucking God. The sheer weight of pretentiousness and feelings of intellectual superiority that these guys carry would be enough to sink the bloody Titanic all over again. Bloody hell. It's the same intellectually inferior masses that have put these two guys on the map, that have made them fairly household names and very recognizable figures across India. It's the same masses that these guys are now throwing shade on. But just because they're in a room together, two fellow pseudo-intellectuals having a pseudo-intellectual conversation, they feel it's cool and absolutely okay to throw shade on them and to make fun of these poor peasants who wish that one day they could actually rise up to their level of intellect. But since they can't, these guys have to drop multiple IQ points to come down to the level of the intellectually inferior people. No.
We'll try to do our best.
Please try to do your best. Because none of us, and I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of everyone who's going to be tuning in to watch or listen to this episode, please try your best. Otherwise, there's absolutely no way we'll understand anything that you guys talk about. Nothing whatsoever. Because, typically what charlatans do is they like talking about simple topics in complex terms, because then no one else will understand it and people will just have the perception that these guys are too smart for me, which is why I don't understand them. That's what charlatans do for a living, right? Explain simple concepts in a complex manner, versus geniuses who actually take complex topics and explain them in a simple manner. So please, Varun, please try your best. Please. And Prakhar, you as well. And let's watch the last part as well, because that's funny. Or not too funny, I should say. And you'll understand what I'm trying to say.
Okay. If you need IQ points in the middle of it somewhere, we'll find them outside.
I watched this at least 20 times and I still haven't understood the joke.
If you need IQ points in the middle of it somewhere, we'll find them outside.
What is he trying to say? Was he trying to be funny there? Was that meant to be a joke? Ranveer Alabadia has jokes that are funnier than that. What does that even mean? If you understand what that means, let me know in the comment section, because who knows, I might just be one of those intellectually inferior people who watches their content, one day aspiring to be remotely close to being at the same level that these pseudo-intellectuals operate at. But hey, India's two biggest pseudo-intellectuals, so all of us must bow down to them. Fucking pretentious pricks.